Hey, it's Scott for TopTenz coming at you with another Fast 5. This time, we have 5 behind-the-scenes facts that change famous movies. It's the sign of a well-made movie when we can watch it without thinking about the fact that it's just an actor on screen reading lines. Sometimes, though, there's stuff that happens behind the lens that completely changes how you see a given scene. For example, did you know that? Number 5. RoboCop blew away all those drug dealers listening to a soft rock ballad. The film RoboCop follows the journey of an invincible sentinel of justice and righteous robotic backhands on his journey to discover what it means to be a man and solve his own murder. In one of the movie's most awesome scenes, RoboCop casually walks into a drug lab and proceeds to shoot like 100 guys in the junk with his wicked awesome auto pistol. There hasn't been a more one-sided fight scene since Ryu got into that fist fight with the car in the bonus stage of Street Fighter II. Throughout the whole thing, RoboCop never once seems challenged, which may have something to do with the fact that he was grooving to the dulcet tones of Peter Gabriel the entire time. You see, the actor who played RoboCop and former Syracuse University professor Peter Weller admitted in an interview that during that scene, to drown out the sound of all that gunfire, he was actually listening to a Walkman hidden below the suit's helmet. That Walkman was, according to Weller, playing nothing but Peter Gabriel's Red Rain on repeat the entire time. Number 4. Grand Moff Tarkin was wearing a pair of fuzzy pink slippers when he detonated Alderaan. Prior to being resurrected and becoming a permanent resident of the Uncanny Valley in Rogue One, Peter Cushing was best known for his role as Grand Moff Tarkin in the original blockbuster Star Wars, later subtitled Episode 4: A New Hope. Throughout that film, Tarkin establishes himself as a ruthlessly efficient leader and a bit of a dick. What with the whole committing global genocide thing, he does just to prove a point. If you watch the scenes Cushing appears in the original Star Wars, you may notice that he's only ever really shown from the waist up. This is because for virtually every scene he appeared in, Cushing was wearing a pair of fuzzy pink slippers while portraying Tarkin, reportedly because the boots he was given to wear didn't fit. This means that Grand Moff Tarkin was such a badass that nobody, including Darth Vader, had the balls to call him on not wearing his uniform while he detonated Alderaan. Number 3. Christopher Reeve's Superman had a big metal dong. To many people, Christopher Reeve is and always will be Superman, and his memorable portrayal of the Man of Tomorrow is consistently voted one of the greatest interpretations of the character ever. Sorry, Dean Cain. Something that's made all the more amusing when you realize that for every scene he appeared in as Superman, Reeve's dong was being cupped by a big metal codpiece. This is because the costume designer and producers for the various Superman movies couldn't agree on one rather unusual issue: how big Superman's penis should be. This argument raged back and forth until it was agreed that Reeve would wear a metal codpiece to give his package an aesthetically pleasing but not distracting shape. Reeve apparently hated wearing the codpiece, especially because the actress who played Lois Lane would flick it between takes, as she liked the silly metallic twang it made. In other words, when you watch those old Superman movies, the reason Superman's bulge never moves is because it's made of metal. Gee, no wonder they call him the Man of Steel. Number 2. Whenever you see the back of Carl's head in The Walking Dead, it's a 29-year-old woman. The character Carl from The Walking Dead has all the personality and charisma of wet flannel wrapped around a stump of wood. He's annoying, he never really does anything, and his floppy, impeccably coiffed hair breaks all sense of immersion because how the hell does his hair look that well maintained in the freaking apocalypse? As it turns out, the reason for Carl's luxurious flowing locks is partly because the actor's stunt double is of the female persuasion. Yep, pretty much any time you see Carl from the back, he's being played not by a teenage actor who grew out of his cute phase 5 seasons ago, but a seasoned female stunt actress who can do cool front flips, which makes us wonder, why not just cast her as Carl? They already strayed from the comics by adding Daryl to the story, and everybody loves that. Why not double down by making Carl a girl and have her dropkick zombies into next week in every other scene? Don't tell us you wouldn't find that awesome, because we only just thought of it and are already considering starting a petition on change.org to make it happen. Number 1. Jason Voorhees ends most scenes by apologizing to the people he just killed. Jason Voorhees is one of cinema's most omnipresent and terrifying villains, and he's probably killed more teenagers with a big knife than most Call of Duty players. Over the years, Jason has been played by a host of actors, most of whom are closing in on being 7 feet tall, and all of whom are absolute sweethearts. The most famous of these is probably Kane Hodder, who portrayed the hockey mask-loving immortal Stab Man during the 80s. Since retiring the mask, the cast and crew he worked with on those movies have waxed poetic about Kane's tenure as the villain and his sense of humor when in costume. Things Kane would do to alleviate tension include ending scenes by excitedly disco dancing when he heard the word cut, and staring at members of the public, standing stock still between takes to freak them out before walking over to shake their hand. Another man famous for wearing the mask, Derek Mears, was similarly lighthearted when playing cinema's most famous machete-wielding mass murderer, going out of his way to comfort actors he worked with and apologize for hurting them during scenes he was pretending to violently murder them in. So yeah, the next time you watch a movie with Jason Voorhees in it, there's a fairly good chance the actor playing him ended whatever scene you're watching by breaking it just all the way down and throwing out his best dance moves. Alright guys, there you have it. Be sure to click subscribe for more great videos from TopTenz. And be sure to join me for the next Fast 5.